Hi, Jeffrey Byard here, your host, Healing Shame. Namaste. Ni hao. Hello. Salam. Welcome wherever you're dialing in from or tuning in from. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We are going to be talking about some ACA recovery discussion today. We're going to be discussing the daily reflection, and I'm going to pop that up on your screen. So let's get right to it. May 28th, sincere effort. Each of us must make a sincere effort to make progress in the program, whether working on one or many compulsions or addictions. From the Big Red Book, page 51. Many of us have the tendency to make things a lot more complicated than they need to be, but we've all heard the slogan, keep it simple. If we keep telling ourselves that recovery is too complicated, we may be giving ourselves a good reason not to work very hard at it or make much forward movement. Sadly, that means we could sit in the rooms of recovery waiting for a miracle to happen for decades. And if nothing changes, nothing changes. Great reading. Recovery is one of the hardest things I'm ever going to do. And it really gets complicated when I feel I'm not making progress and then I want to give up because I'm a perfectionist. I'm very perfectionistic. If it's got to be all or nothing. If it's not going to be perfect, I don't want to do it at all. If I'm making too many mistakes in my mind, I want to just give up and just not do anything. I have very much all or nothing thinking, black and white, all or nothing thinking. But it's in the recognition of seeing that I have this type of all or nothing thinking so that I can focus on trying to just do one thing right today, making progress. If I've done just a little bit more than yesterday, and sometimes it's not always going to be that cut and dry. It may be 2 steps back and 1 step forward, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. But it really is in the recognition that there's very much a simple matter of progress in this recovery program. It's not just about what I'm doing, but what I'm trying to do. And at the end of the day, I have to recognize that through prayer and meditation and connection with my higher power, I recognize that it is about exercising my willpower along the lines of improving my recovery. Now, if I can exercise my willpower, that's a proper use of the will, of trying to do better in recovery today. That's progress. And sometimes that's just the best that I can do. I also have to give myself a break in recovery. Sometimes it's just about recognizing that, hey, look, today I'm not on. Today I'm spiritually off. And I've got on the subway. I was glaring. I might have pushed up people around, or I might, in my head, I might have argued with the inner critic. I didn't feel like I was trying to be a very good, loving parent to my inner children. I didn't give them time to play. And that's really what it is. It's just about finding balance. It's about giving my inner children time for play. It's about communicating with my inner critic and thanking the critic for trying to protect me when the critic is judging me harshly or judging others harshly. And really, I just have to keep it simple. Be present and be in the moment today. And here's the second part of the reading today. But recovery is not measured by time spent in the program, but how we work and live the program. Our higher power is not going to do the recovery work for us. The choice is simple. Either occupy a seat in the meetings and keep the same dysfunction in our life, or step out of our comfort zone and try the path that has been proven effective by so many others. ACA sponsors and fellow travelers are available to help us along the way, along the path. We couldn't do it alone before we came to ACA, and we can't do it alone now. If we've just been floating along, it's time to swallow our pride and make some forward movement. And here's our little mantra here. On this day, I will rededicate my efforts to use the tools of recovery. I will pick up the phone and the BRB, Big Red Book, and learn something new about myself. And that is from Adult Children of Alcoholics and Dysfunctional Families, World Service Organization. That's from Strengthening Our Recovery. The text. Yeah, I can't get this program by osmosis. I can't just go into a meeting and expect to just hear things and I'm just going to get it all by sitting around in there. Not going to happen. Recovery is very much a hands-on process. It is a journey, not a destination. It's progress, not perfection. Easy does it, first things first, all those mottos that we see in other different texts and things. And I must mention as well, it talks about at the very beginning of this reading where we might be dealing with other compulsions or addictions. I've gone through various ones. I've battled with alcohol. I've battled with caffeine. And I've put those substances, those exogenous substances aside. And what do I deal with today? I deal with the inner drugs today, the inner drugstore they talk about in the Big Red Book. And how did I know? How did I know what the hell the inner drugs were? I picked up that BRB, like it says in our little mantra at the bottom. I picked up that BRB at the bottom of our reading. And I read through it and I learned about the inner drugstore and I learned about secondary addictions and I learned about peeling the onion back and dealing with unprocessed grief and trauma and all of that, the different jargon they use in the parlance from the book. I have to do my part and I have to make outreach calls. I have to hear what other members are doing to stay emotionally sober today. Because remember, sobriety in ACA is different than sobriety in the substance programs. It's not just about not using something. It's about it's today recovery in ACA is about being in healthy relationships where I'm not trying to control, manipulate, lie, deceive. That means I'm in recovery in ACA. When I can be in a relationship, just kind of let it be, let it go, and do my clean, keep my side of the street clean, hear that person out, and recognize that my partner has her feelings and emotions, and I have my feelings and emotions, and we can work together to do things, but we're not enmeshed, we're not unhealthily entangled, and that's recovery and ACA. Before that, it was either I was unhealthily or in a toxic way. I was connected, intertwined with this person. I didn't know where my emotions ended and hers began. There was no way to tease those apart because we were enmeshed. And that this is a sign of not being recovered. So today I can say I'm working towards that goal of being in recovery today, and not operating on the laundry list traits. But this is something I have to work towards. I've got to read the book. I've got to pray, meditate, do outreach calls, share my experience, strength, and hope, read these daily reflections, and just give myself a break too. Talk to my inner critic. Talk to my inner kids. Journal. These are the efforts I make on a daily basis. I write about my thoughts and feelings. When the inner critic comes, I say, thank you. I say, what is it that you're wanting? You are being heard. You are being recognized. You're understood. I love you, inner critic. I love you, inner rebel. Inner children, what would you like today? How do you feel around this person? Do you feel safe in this environment? And I bring them into the conference room and I talk to my inner family. And I hear words like from other members when I do outreach calls, like scrupulosity and IFS meditation. And this is the way I learn. This is the way I grow, but it takes effort. And it's very much a daily thing. I have to get up in the morning and I have to try to work this program to the best of my ability, pick up that phone, open up that BRB, that Big Red Book, and try to make some progress. on a daily basis. And that's all I got. That's the end of our discussion for the May 28th reading. Again, it's been a pleasure having you. And this is Healing Shame with Jeffrey Byard. See you later, guys. Look forward to next time. Bye-bye.